Well, we just put some Mod Podge glue on the back of the Emerald Bay 1,000 piece Eurographics jigsaw puzzle that we just completed. We're gonna give that some time to dry. It's probably gonna take a little while, but once it dries, we got ourselves a beautiful artwork piece of jigsaw puzzle. I recommend using the Mod Podge. Mod Podge. Water-based sealer, glue, and finish. Works great on jigsaw puzzles. So we'll take a look at it in just a second, or not just a second, for you just a second, but for Superdan it's going to take an hour or two, maybe 3 hours for it to completely dry, and then I'll show you the finished product, and Superdan's going to decide where to put it up. Probably it's going to be right here above the computer. Cheers. Here's the puzzle all glued up. All glued up. I did make one mistake. If you could spot it, great. If you can't, great, because I'm not going to tell you where it is. But probably the keen eye will see it. I touched it up the best I could with the paints that I have. But this is it. So I think we pretty much covered ad nauseum the Emerald Bay Lake Tahoe 1,000 piece Eurographics puzzle. What do you want? Go get ready for school. Unbelievable. Anyways, I love her to death. On to the next one, right? That is done now. Done and done. Now to the present, which is the 500 piece Springbok puzzle that's entitled, I'm going to cheat here real quick, that is entitled The Good Nabor Store. Here, I'll show it to you again. This is it. This is it. All right, let's get started. All right, ladies and gentlemen, children of all ages, we are about to begin puzzle number 2. That's right, puzzle number 2. And it doesn't require you watching puzzle number 1, but Superdan would appreciate it if you did. Puzzle number 2. The Good Nabor Store puzzle, Springbok, 500 piece, 55 years, 1963. These guys started. They're based in Kansas City, Missouri, USA, family owned. Pretty cool stuff. We're gonna build this. This, which has one of my favorite things to do is play pinball machine. Takes me back to the great old times of Superdan, going to the arcade and playing some pinball. Royal flush on it, of course that has meaning, video poker, right? Royal flush. And a cool looking store. So without any further ado, let's get started. So as usual with the other puzzles, we start with the sorting process. Sort. I decided this time to sort, of course, with the flat pieces, but also separate the pieces in color. This one is a busy puzzle, so it's not going to be as clear cut as the Emerald Bay puzzle in terms of separating it into colors, but basically I'm putting blues and the pinball machine in one pile, the flat pieces in another pile, and the Coca-Cola and red in a pile, and everything else in the big box. Unfortunately, Superdan doesn't do such a great job with the sorting, and you'll see as we move on. Whew. Another sorting job complete. Yes, you always want to start with sorting. When I was a kid, we didn't sort. We just picked it out of the puzzle box, right? But you know, as you get older, you realize that sorting, although it takes some time, it actually saves you some time. So we have sorted these pieces, and let me just show you real quick what we have sorted. Okay, first, these pieces, flat pieces, and some of these flat pieces may not be flat pieces, so to speak. There's a couple in here that could possibly be part of the puzzle, but pretty confident we captured most of the flat pieces. Very important, the borders. We also separated the Coca-Cola and red pieces that I absolutely knew it was Coca-Cola or very red. They're right here. And then over here is just all the other pieces, and there's a lot more than I thought. Actually, this one might be part of the floor. Probably should keep that with the floor. Anyways, so that kind of explains this pile, which is the floor. And then this pile over here is the blue pieces and the pieces that I was almost 100% sure is part of the pinball machine that we will put together. I'm sure there's pieces of the pinball machine I overlooked and they're in the big box, but hopefully I got a lot of it just to get it started, because likely what we're gonna do, I don't know, well, I'm just playing this one kind of by ear, because there really is no color per se to separate. It's very busy, but I knew I could separate this color, and I did for the most part. Once again, I'm sure there's pieces that I wasn't able to separate very well. It's a very busy puzzle, but the pinball machine we separated pretty good. There's probably some pieces missing, but we got the border, the Coca-Colas, here and here, and then we'll just work our way and figure everything out as it goes. This is an easier puzzle. It shouldn't drive Superdan too crazy, but that's the plan. So anyways, let me put the border together, and then we'll see if we want to start on the pinball machine or anything for part 1 of Springbok 500 piece, The Good Neighbor Stole. Yeah. Well, alas, there is one border piece that I cannot find to save my life. I did not do a very good job sorting. My fault. In the second time I went through it, I found multiple flat pieces that I didn't pull out, and then next time I found a few, and now there's just like one, maybe two left. but I don't want to dwell on it too much. I'm sure they'll pop up when they're ready. Kind of drives me crazy a little bit, my OCD part of Superdan. But, you know, it is what it is. We got 98, 99% of the border right here. Looks good. Kind of started working on this a little bit as I was looking for the, right here, as I was looking for the flat pieces. So, in a puzzle like this, I'm just gonna start putting pieces together. There's really gonna be no rhyme or reason to it. I'm probably gonna start with the pinball machine and work my way around. Probably gonna get a little bit messy in here, but eventually the plan is that everything's gonna start gelling together, and we'll finish the puzzle then. There is a lot of detail here, as you can see, a lot of detail, and the pieces are big enough where you can see the detail pretty well, and you know where it needs to go, but you may not find the companion piece right away. So just placing the pieces, you know, when you find a piece and you're like, oh, okay, that's a piece of, you know, that's a piece of decab, right? That's a piece of decab, or that's a piece of what? Pepsi, please, or something. You place it there, and then you just keep finding stuff, and then you put it all together. So that's the plan. I think I will start the pinball thing and put that in part 1 as well, and I'll start that in a little while. I'm gonna take a little bit of a break. I spent a lot of time, unnecessary time, looking for the flat pieces that were not sorted. So, hey, you know, I knew I shot myself in the foot when I said this is going to be an easier puzzle. You never want to say that. You just want to say it's a less challenging puzzle, or, you know, a 500-piece puzzle, whatever. So, okay. Time to call it a break. We were working on the pinball machine. We did the border, and we started placing pieces in various parts of the puzzle. Let me show you really quick. See, the borders are all put together now. I found that final piece finally. So that's good. We got the border together. We also got a lot of the pinball machine together. As you can see. We also placed pieces in certain places, like this bronze sign, good neighbor stores, public telephone, and some other pieces. So, I mean, we still got some work to do. But I'm enjoying this puzzle a lot right now. It's very different from the Emerald Bay Lake Tahoe puzzle that we put together. It has its own set of challenges, I guess. Didn't want to make it sound like it's easy because it's only 500 pieces. You know, a puzzle's a puzzle. But I'm enjoying it. Lots of detail in this one, and sooner or later we will put it all together and have this very nice good neighbor puzzle. Very interesting. That it's a very different feel. Puzzle pieces are a different feel for Springbok. It has kind of a thicker kind of feel, and kind of got to press down a little bit for it to click into place and fit. A little bit different from Euro graphics, but it's neither better nor worse. It's just different. So thanks for watching. Click the thumbs up if you like these videos. Comment down below. Subscribe, please. And I'll get the next one, part 2, to you as soon as I can. Cheers. Hello and welcome to Puzzle 2 Part 2 of the Springbok 500 piece The Good Neighbor store. This Part 2 will complete the puzzle at the end. In the beginning we start putting pieces in their proper places and filling them in essentially. Also working on that pinball machine and starting to putting the Coca-Colas together, putting everything together basically. And we start pretty good on the left, and then we pick it up on the right of the puzzle with the busy stuff, with all the goods and signs and services of this awesome store, wherever it may be. So please watch, enjoy, and watch me complete the Good Neighbor store. Alright, boys and girls, well, I feel like we're in the midway point of this puzzle. This puzzle that ended up being a little more challenging than I thought it was going to be, but that's fine. I like challenging puzzles because the more challenging, like I said before, the more challenging it is, the more rewarding it is. Let's take a look at it real quick. Alright, so this is it. This is where we're at so far. We got pretty much all the pinball machine, just a few pieces left. Got most of the top left too. We got the Coca-Cola and the windows. Started working on the windows of the horse. On the right side, we haven't done much yet. We've made the Coca-Cola signs, starting to put some pieces here and there. But we're making. I'm happy of our progress so far. Very happy indeed of where we're at in relation to time and putting this puppy together. So I think what we're gonna do is we're just gonna keep doing what we're doing with this puzzle. Strategy's still gonna be kind of the same, putting pieces where they ought to go, I feel, in the puzzle, and then finding similar pieces and putting them together and that sort of thing. Let's continue the 500 piece Operation Springbok, the Good Neighbor store. last piece. Drum roll, please. In the middle. Right in the middle. Alright, well, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, we have finished the puzzle. Whew. More challenging than I thought it was going to be. Not quite as challenging as the 1,000-piece Emerald Bay, but it was fun. I wouldn't say it was hard. I would say that it just gave me a little bit more run for the money than I thought it would be going down to 500-piece puzzle, which is not a bad thing. It's not a bad thing. I feel what the increase in challenge is directly proportional to the increase in reward, and I feel, you know, like I have some reward for putting this one together. So let me just show you the puzzle real quickly. So here it is in all its might and glory, the 500-piece Springbok The Good Neighbor Store puzzle. Not really sure how long it took me in total. If I had to take a rough guess, I'd say about 4 hours, approximately 4 hours in total. Could be a little less, definitely not more. But it was fun, and I love it. I love the way it looks. I love the pinball machine. I love the Coca-Cola. I like the antique signs. And just the feel and nature of this puzzle is just very cool. I really like it a lot. So what else can I say? It's gonna go up on the wall somewhere at some point. I'll glue it and do the same thing I did with Emerald Bay puzzle right up here. And thank you all for watching, and thank you for subscribing. Superdan appreciates it very much. I upload these timely on Superdan's Jigsaw puzzle, but I am putting all the pieces together and putting it on the Superdan channel. So I'm kind of linking both in some ways, but I still want the Superdan's Jigsaw puzzles to be separate, and we'll keep it separate. But what I'll do is to take all the parts, put it together, and throw it on Superdan channel so they can watch it too at a later date. So you might be asking yourself, what is the next puzzle? What is the next puzzle be? It's going to be a White Mountain puzzle, 1,000 pieces, Roadside America. Here it is, Roadside America. This is going to be the next bad boy. It's going to come down the pike. Stay tuned for it. When Superdan glues this and gets things set, we're gonna delve right into it. So subscribe, click the thumbs up, comment down below, support the channel, and Superdan will catch you on the next one. Cheers.